So in case you haven't heard, everyone's favorite senator, Ted Cruz of Texas, is flying off to Cancun. Last night, he took a family trip to Cancun in Mexico while his own home state literally is freezing cold in the dark with millions without power suffering right now. That's Ted Cruz. Here's Beto O'Rourke, another Texas politician, talking about how Ted Cruz is literally celebrating while his people suffer.
It tells me that unless we hold those responsible accountable for what they did, and yes, that means Donald Trump, but it also means the junior senator from the state of Texas, who I understand is vacationing in Cancun right now, where when people are literally freezing to death in the state that he was elected to represent and serve. When Ted Cruz helps to incite that sedition, seeks to overturn a lawfully, legitimately, democratically decided election, he is just as culpable for the insurrection, the coup attempt, the deaths.
Now, this isn't 100% confirmed. I'm very confident this is the case, but I have a bunch of pictures up on the screen. A lot of people are noting that this really looks like Ted Cruz, and in the last picture I'm going to show you, you see that one of the pictures is very clearly Heidi Cruz, his wife, so a lot of people are like, even if it's not Ted exactly, if the hair looks a little different, why would Heidi Cruz be vacationing with a man that looks almost exactly like her husband? It's Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz took a secret trip to Cancun and thought he could get away with it, even though his own people are suffering. And we keep forgetting that there's COVID still. Shouldn't be traveling, especially internationally. And if you're a leader, you shouldn't be doing non-essential travel as a, example setter to the public to say that these sorts of travelings until we get vaccinations to the vast majority of the people will cost lives. So there's a whole bunch of factors here. And Ted Cruz, of course, is a hypocrite. Just a couple days ago now, he went on a radio show to tell people to stay home because it was unsafe to go anywhere.
But hardly anybody's out there, and stay home if you can. Don't mess with it. But Ted, I got to ask you what people want to know. Is this because Biden wanted to get back? Go ahead.
Joe, let me underscore that for everyone listening, which is that this storm is dangerous.
It is. And
there's a second storm expected to hit this week, which will make things even worse. So if you can stay home, don't go out on the roads. Don't risk the ice. I was speaking this weekend with a meteorologist expert who was saying the combination of these two storms, we could see up to 100 people lose their lives this week in Texas. So don't risk it. Keep your family safe and just stay home and hug your kids.
So far, people are being very smart when it comes to this, and hopefully they'll continue to do that. Very, very fair warning.
And so there again, Ted Cruz is saying to all the plebs, to all the peasants, to all the regular folks in Texas, stay freezing in a heap at home, stay freezing and starving at home. We'll fix this eventually, I guess. And he's jetting off to Cancun. Like, I get it. If Ted Cruz had to do essential travel because he's a senator, yeah, I get it. Like, you have to go between Washington and Texas. Yeah, for sure. But I don't think he's on a diplomatic mission to Cancun. I don't think Ted Cruz is, being sent by Joe Biden to establish diplomatic relationships in Cancun. He's going there to celebrate and chill and relax while his people suffer without basic human necessities. And on top of all of this is the reality that Ted Cruz has really tried to politicize this crisis. This is a man that back when California was having issues with its power would suggest that it was green energy and left-wing policy that was failing to provide the basic necessities of life for Californians. And now, when Texas has failed due to their over-reliance on fossil fuels, due to the fact that they do not have weatherproofing systems either on their fossil fuel energy or their green energy, and based on the fact that they stubbornly refuse to be integrated into the national energy grid, they have made a bad situation worse. I have no doubt that this would have been an issue even in a perfect system. Texas really isn't accustomed to this sort of weather event, but it's exacerbated by right-wing policy failures. And therefore, Ted Cruz is trying to project it onto a Green New Deal that hasn't even been implemented yet. So you have people like Cruz and Cornyn and the governor of Texas, Abbott, basically all saying this is why the Green New Deal would fail. This is why green energy is bad. This is why the left would destroy America. This is why Joe Biden's going to be an awful president. Blah, 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 blah.
Gas, oil, old-fashioned oil, and coal. I'm not against nuclear energy either. I'm not against wind turbines. But my question is, if they have these rolling blackouts and you got freezing weather, I mean, and they're not reliable and it's use it or lose it, what good is it?
Sean, this shows how the Green New Deal would be a deadly deal for the United States of America. Texas is blessed with multiple sources of energy, such as natural gas and oil and nuclear, as well as solar and wind. But you saw from what Trace said, and that is our wind and our solar got shut down, and they were collectively more than 10% of our power grid. And that thrust Texas into a situation where it was lacking power in a statewide basis, that was power that was spread out by that ERCOT organization that you were talking about. As a result, it just shows that fossil fuel is necessary for the state of Texas as well as other states to make sure that we will be able to heat our homes in the wintertime and cool our homes in the summertime.
While it's their policy failures that have caused this, and them, especially Ted Cruz, deciding to jet off to a tropical paradise while everyone suffers. This shows why Ted Cruz is awful, and this shows, I think, why even right-wingers don't like Ted Cruz. Nobody likes Ted Cruz. Nobody likes Ted Cruz, and this is example one why.